Well, hello, ladies. How are you this
Good. Good.
beautiful day? Wonderful. I'm Regina, and this is her time. And we are so glad that you have decided to start this video and you're checking us out. I don't know if this is the first time or you've been following us all along. Either way, we're so glad you're here with us. I just want to introduce my friends. I have Daisy,
Hi.
I have Jeanette, and I have Rosie. The four of us have been friends, just a little background, for over 20 years. And we decided that there was just a lot of things that we had conversations, and we felt like it was something that might be fun to record and talk to in front of everybody. I don't know. I think it's awesome. So we're Her Time. You can reach us or see us or view us on YouTube, Her Time for Talk. You can also email us at hertimefortalk@gmail.com, her time for talk@gmail.com. Today we are talking about the subject is mentor me. How many women out there? I know I am the type of person that I'm always trying to find the best way to do things, you know? And I'm sure that a lot of us have been the type of person to, see somebody and be like, wow, she has it all together. Really would like to know what her secret sauce is. Like, how does she come to church and all of her kids all match, their hair's done,
Hmm.
and her husband looks happy? Like, how is she doing that? And or like, wow, this lady has a condo in New York. She's working. She is, wearing Louis. What are those shoes? Routine something shoes. Yeah,
Retired.
like she has it all together as far as her career is concerned. And so I'm like, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to figure out how she does it, and I'll just do it how she does it. Or maybe you're the opposite, and people are always coming to you because they're like, man, you seem to have your life together. Like, can I just sit at your feet and learn everything that you know, and just can you just pour all your knowledge into me? I'm sure that maybe in all of our lives we've had points where we're one or the other, but I feel like I'm more the she has it together. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to figure out how she does it. Which one are you? I'll start with Daisy.
Oh, yikes. Okay. Yeah, I've gone back and forth as well, Reg. And I think at this point in my life, there's this obvious characteristic of being the one who's pursued to mentor, and that is age, you know. And so I've got that, obviously. And so at this point in my life, I have more people, more women coming to me than I'm approaching, but I'm a people watcher and observer. So I'm always learning, you know. Um, I'm Yeah, I have people coming to me. And so this is where I get to say, I don't believe in mentoring. Mentoring is not something that I live in or even operate in. I'm more about building relationship with people. And so for me, it's discipleship because I am a lifelong learner. I want to be in relationships where I'm also learning and that there's not an expectation for someone to sit at my feet and learn because I'm still learning myself. No matter where I am in life, there's stuff to learn. So yeah, I'm a discipleship woman, and it's about a reciprocal relationship for me, a learning relationship for me. So that's my stance on mentorship, actually.
Well, yeah, Daisy always has an out of the box answer, but it's wisdom. right? Wisdom. Because yeah, I mean, when you hear the word mentor, that means, oh, you want me to be your mentor? Oh, that means I have to take time. I have to like write things down and help you figure life out. But Daisy's saying, no, it's just come alongside me. Walk with me. Let's figure it out together.
Yeah.
Rosie?
Yeah, I was pondering this question. And I don't, very few women have I thought of, oh, I want to know your secret sauce. Just, you know, very, very few. And most of the women that I've thought of that I think, oh, like, I really want to know, they're older, you know, and they have just a sweet spirit, and there's just they have this wisdom they give out. So I've kind of just, I'm drawn to that type of person. And so I feel like throughout the years, I've been more of a mentor or a discipler of others, because just like Daisy, mentorship for me is like a form of discipleship. You know, it's a relationship. It's something that you do together. You grow together. You learn together. You know, so for me, it's discipleship. And so I feel like throughout my years, I've been a mentor to others, and not that other women have not mentored me, because you know they have. But yeah, so I feel mentor or discipleship is just a form of relationship, growing together, building each other
No
up.
one comes to you and says, how do you make that coffee? How? Like,
Yeah,
I
Regina.
I did.
Jeanette.
How to make your coffee?
Mentor me, right?
Yeah, Jeanette.
No, I was saying that, yes, I did. I specifically asked, okay, show me, how do you make that? I mean, I know how to make coffee. That's sad because I'm a barista, but to make it like
different,
yeah,
right?
exactly. We don't make bustelo at the place I work at. I won't mention it. But what I was gonna say is, okay, so I have a question. I'm sorry, I'm kind of throwing a little monkey wrench into all of this, but okay, so when Daisy and Rosie were talking about mentoring and slash discipling, or versus discipling, I don't know. Does it matter what the subject is? Meaning if it's something like biblical wisdom, even not necessarily just Bible, but like, let's say marriage, parenting, things that are like that. But if it's something like coffee, or if it's something like, how do I, because I'll give you an example. I have someone who came up to me several years ago. They came to see the first show I had done, actually the second show I had done. And she was in the process of writing her own musical. And she invited me to go see it. I went and saw it. And then she kept pursuing me, like, tell me your ways. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I was thinking in my mind, like, you just finished putting out a musical that you wrote. I don't even write the musicals that I produce and direct, you know? And so I was like, you're doing a great job. But she really wanted to like ask me so many questions. And so we did like a Zoom thing, you know, and we talked for about an hour and a half, and she was just asking me all these things. And so anyway, what I want to know is like, is that, I consider that more mentoring as opposed to I discipled her. Do you know what I mean? Because of the subject matter.
You know, that's a good answer. I mean, it's a question that answers exactly what we're saying, is that's your perception of mentorship. It's that's your perception. Is somebody coming to you, asking you questions, wanting to know how you do something, but you know, and you just walking them through that, spending time with them, giving them that Zoom meeting, answering their questions, you know.
Do you stay in contact with her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not like a lot, but you know, we're friends on social media. Whenever she has a show, she'll invite me, and whenever I have a show, I'll invite her, and we talk and stuff like that. But
So
That was a good
to
point.
answer your question, I would say that's your perception of mentorship. You know, it's
Like the subject matter matters. You know what I mean? Like if it was something in church and somebody was asking me, Jeanette, I need advice on marriage, and we start having conversations about marriage, then I feel like that is more discipling. But because it's about musical theater, I don't consider it discipling. I consider it more mentoring. Do you know what I
I
mean?
think,
I don't know if that
yeah, I see what you're saying. I think for me is the way I look at it is just standing with whomever God places in my life side by side at whatever time, at whatever season, for however long. That's how I look at it, right? So
Mhm.
that's why I say that mentorship is a form of discipleship. So I don't think it matters the time, but as long as you're imparting into their lives, but this is the way I view it. Yeah.
I see it as even that person who comes to me for a specific thing, a specific piece of knowledge, I'm learning from that person because I get people asking me about marriage, quite a bit. And so there are things that they've said in that conversation that I have implemented in my life because, 25 years ago, I didn't do that. And I'm like, you know what? That's a really good idea because though they're asking questions, they're also revealing what their experience in that marriage is. And I want my marriage to be better and better and better into its 50th year, So even that for me is discipleship because I'm learning as well.
so bottom line, it's just inviting somebody into your life, whether it is, biblical things, whether it is non-biblical things, whether it is somebody from church, whether it's somebody from your job, it's just bringing somebody into your life, and answering their questions, walking them through, and then learning from them as well. And that's the thing, is that we have all gone through so many things in our lives. All of us, we've dealt with different things. We've all had experiences, issues. We've got ups and downs, and I feel like all of those things have brought us to a point where we've filled up with life experiences, and we start to fill up with these life experiences and fill up, and then what do we do with them? Do we just hold them in? Do we write a book? Do we bring somebody alongside us? Some of us are book smart, some of us are life experience smart. I mean, is there a difference between wisdom and knowledge? Is there a difference between wisdom and knowledge?
I don't see a difference. I think they go together. I think with wisdom, it's a divine impartation, of the Holy Spirit. So it takes time to get there. It takes experience. But knowledge, whether I'm looking at it as academic knowledge or just life knowledge, just because I lived certain situations out and I've gotten through them, I think they're hand in hand for me, and one becomes the foundation for the other. So for me, they go together. You can't have one without the other. So.
And with all of that life experience, who have you invited into your life? Not family, because family, they just are there. But like someone like that, like, have you invited, like intentionally invited someone into your life, whether to share your life experience with, or to learn, or no, like, I want that person in my life. Have you ever, any of you ever done that?
I think, sorry, I have an itch, so I'm coughing,
Okay.
whatever. Anyway, I think this person came into our lives, and she's been nothing but a blessing years ago. And I felt as though it was our responsibility just to pour into her. And she's been with us for years and years. And it was a time of me to pour into her, walk side by side with her, grow with her, learn from her, and her love and devotion to the Lord. So there's been many times where I have been able to see her grow as an individual. I have seen her mature, and I have seen how much she loves the Lord. So I've seen that and I've learned from her, right? Excuse me. But she's been somebody that I've been able to pour into her. So it's been a good relationship with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I specifically remember one person that comes to mind that that this, well, first of all, she's brilliant. She's a doctor. She was named like top doc of the state and all that, and she's brilliant. But yeah, she's somebody that like she just, and she did it always with such ease, because she was like, she would pour into me and speak words, like, I don't know, like just these words of wisdom that I'd be like, wow, that was so, and she's so down to earth. So she calls me Janetita. So she'd be like, Janetita, blah, 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 and she'd start just, speaking into me, and I'd be like, oh, yes, give it to me all. But yeah, I've had some people in my life that, besides all of you also, that aren't family, that I just feel like there's always someone who's done been there, done that, or has more wisdom in this area, more knowledge in this area, more experience in this area. And so I feel like, goodness, there's always somebody to, learn from. Not everybody will you take their, there's people, yeah, I am choosy also on who I want to pour into my life, because not everybody maybe has, the best for you, but that's where wisdom comes into place. So
Right. That brings me to, is there a time where, is there a best time to pour into someone? Is there a worst time to share your life experiences with someone? Like, who do we, I mean, how does it happen? Do we pray, Lord, it's time for me to mentor. I need to have somebody in my life to mentor, or Lord, help me find that mentor, or, I need the relationship, or, is it something that we're praying for? Is there a best time or a worst time?
I think God places those women in your life. I really believe that. I really believe God places those women in our lives that we need to be a part of, and some seasons you might see that more, as opposed to other seasons where you might not be discipling or mentoring, or I think it's just depending on the season. But I really believe that God will place, and I think too, it's part of our prayer, Lord, who is the individual, the woman that you want me to just stand alongside with, who's that person? Like currently at work, I have this one individual. She's younger than I am, but God has placed her in my life since the beginning of my time, since I've been working at this school. And she'll out of nowhere will text me. She texted me yesterday, hey, pray for this or pray for that, and I was thinking about you, and and so we're back and forth. And I feel like right now she's my season, of discipling, and we don't talk every day, but I feel like the Lord placed her in my life, and so I feel like not that I have a responsibility, but yes, responsibility to pray for her when I remember, right? But to reach out to her, to let her know, hey, I'm thinking about you. And I did that just the other day. So yeah, I feel that praying for that person or whoever is around you and you see something or there's a need, then that's someone that you can probably reach out to. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So I completely agree. It's I don't know, I think, like you said, God orders our steps and he brings people into our lives that we need and that we need to be able to pour into or to refresh who we are in our knowledge and give us that refreshment, in a different way, because they're full of knowledge and we're full of knowledge, and we like put our knowledge into a knowledge cup and shake it up and then pour it back. Is there a worse time? Like, is there a worse, like a not a great time where like going through a lot right now, just can't handle people? Is there a time when we need to pull away?
I think that if ever there's a time where it seems like it's a lot of give, and they're not, maybe you don't see like the maybe, I don't know, this maybe, I'm sure there's circumstances where you have to like look at it individually, obviously, but I think that if someone is just taking, and you're giving, and it's becoming almost draining to you, and you are feeling like, man, I'm pouring and I'm pouring and I'm pouring and I'm pouring. I've heard this said before that you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you yourself are feeling empty because you've been pouring, and you haven't been like receiving yourself, then I think that might be a time where you need to like, maybe not completely like, okay, that's it, I'm done with you, but just maybe, okay, I need some time to get poured into so that I could
Take a
be
step back.
replenished or so that then I can be fresh to other people, to pour out into them.
Yeah.
And I think it's wisdom to say that to the person, not just pull out, but there's a lesson that is learned when you can be assertive and say, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I expected in this relationship that we're in. And this is what's going on right now. So I think from that, the other person has to learn something. There's a teaching moment there. So we need to have wisdom toward ourselves as well. So
We can't just ghost them. We can't just like
we don't just ghost them. No.
Okay. So,
That's the
Jesus
easy way
wouldn't
out.
do that.
all right, fine. All right, so let's go to this one last question, so that we can wrap up. Are we too young? Is there an age limit? Like, are we ever too young or ever too old to start that relationship, that discipleship? Where does it become like? I guess that's the question. Is there ever an age to stop? It's kind of a rhetorical question, but
I don't think we're ever too old or too young. We're always in a season of learning. We're always growing, if we have that mindset, right? So yeah, I don't think we're ever too old or too young to learn from someone or to give a piece of advice or to share your thoughts with a person. I think we should always be mentoring or discipling someone. I think it's just part of life. And I think it's important because it helps us, as individuals to grow, to see things, out of the box, or to just view things differently, get someone else's perception, input. And so, yeah.
Mhm. I thought of when I think, if I'm thinking about like, is there ever too young? I think about the Bible verse about don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, and and
Mhm.
you are always. This may sound silly, but there's always someone younger than you. So,
Yeah.
like, if you're a junior in high school, there's a freshman in high school who may have a question, who may, need some guidance in some way that you can, bless them with. And as
And
far
as a
as too old,
50-year-old,
absolutely not.
and as a 50-year-old, how could you learn from a 18-year-old?
Mm.
There's a lot to learn, just think about technology. You
Yeah.
mentioned that earlier, um yeah, they are so savvy, and they have nuggets of wisdom to share and impart on us, maybe the way we do things, maybe the way we say things. I mean, my daughter, she will always, say something, and and sometimes it makes me think, right? So yeah, there's a lot that we can learn from the
Mhm.
younger generation.
And
They
Daisy,
don't know everything, right? They don't know
you
everything.
don't know everything. Yeah,
But there's
exactly.
some things that we can learn from them, and they can learn from us, definitely, through
Mhm.
because of our
Think
years of experience.
someone from engaging.
What
Say
was
What
the
that.
do you
question, Reg?
what do you think keeps someone from engaging, from taking that step into discipleship, whether it's asking or receiving, like asking or giving, pouring? What do you think keeps someone from engaging?
I think in terms of, the person giving, I think sometimes we believe that we have to be in a certain place,
Mm,
that we do have to have it all together. Um, and that should not be a deterrent from pouring into someone whose situation you've experienced, but we tend to look at our lives as this holistic thing where it's like, okay, if I don't have it all together, who am I to say,
mm,
you know?
mhm.
Um, so I think that might be something that we have to be careful with. We have something to give.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be perfect, because no one's perfect. First of all, no one's perfect. Second of all, if we stop because our life isn't Instagram perfect, we'll never do anything,
Mhm.
never be able to impart that wisdom or have relationships at all, you know.
The other
Can,
thing I think of though is even in our mistakes, I've learned more, I think, from my mistakes than I've learned from anything else. So if I'm
mhm.
not sharing that with someone, it's like
Mhm.
we're missing out, they're
Exactly.
missing out and I'm missing out. So yeah, yeah.
Can
Exactly. That's good.
can I add to that, is that your question was what holds us back, right? Fear. Fear is something that will hold us back, will keep us from pouring into the lives of other women.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a matter of dispelling that fear, getting rid of that, and saying, no, you're not going to control my life, right? Because sometimes you might feel, well, I'm not good enough, or just you deal with your insecurities, and you start dealing with, well, I don't have anything to share or to say.
Mhm.
And I went to this conference, and they were talking about mentoring and discipleship, and they said, there's 4 pillars that you have to think about, and it's love, it's listening, it's encouraging, and it's praying, and it's getting rid of that fear, but then operating in love, and operating in listening and encouraging and praying. And so,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's
good.
exactly okay. So we have 4 pillars: love,
listening
Listening.
encouraging,
and
and
praying.
praying for that person that comes into your life. It doesn't say you need to be perfect.
Right.
It doesn't say that you need to pour it all out. It doesn't say that, you know, you need to take all of their burdens. It just says in that time that you're with that person, you love, you listen,
You encourage
you encourage,
and you
and
pray.
pray. I think that's a good way to end what we've been talking about today. Thank you, Rosie. Love, listen, encourage, and pray. Yeah, there's just I think God created us to have relationships, to have those beautiful moments with people that aren't perfect. I think that's one of the reasons why we've stayed so close, is that we've been able to just share our experiences with each other, and God will continue to bring people into our lives to love and listen to and encourage, and maybe they'll encourage us as well, and we'll pray for each other. Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate that you have taken your time and just listened, and maybe you'll take this to your friends, or consider this to be an option in your life, to find someone to walk alongside and be part of their lives, to love, listen, encourage, and pray. Love you, ladies. And until next time, we'll see
Love
you.
you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.